So today we are going to talk about dog poop. Don't eat me. We have 8 dogs here. 5 of our dogs are inside dogs and 3 of our dogs are outside dogs, our Great Pyrenees. We pick up our dog waste every single day. It's the boys' chore. Mama, you can't eat this. Sometimes it's raining or snowing or it doesn't get done because of sports, and it's just not something I want in the yard. I hate stepping in it. I hate the animals stepping in it, and then it gets drug in the house regardless of if you wipe off your shoes or whatever, and it's actually very nasty. Dog poop can be extremely harmful to humans, and it's also not awesome for the environment. So whether you have 1 dog or 8 dogs, it is important that you are picking up your dog poop and disposing of it properly. We're not going to touch much on how poop affects the environment as far as when you're putting it into a landfill. And I know a lot of you are saying, I pick up our poop, we pick it up with biodegradable bags, but those biodegradable bags need oxygen in order to break down and biodegrade to begin with. And when they are piled underneath a ton of garbage, like probably actually a ton, probably more than a ton of garbage, they are not composting, they are not breaking down, and the poop itself emits a ton of greenhouse gases that are very bad for the planet. The babies want out to their mamas. That could contribute to a lot of the climate issues that we have that continue to be worrisome for humans and Earth. So it's something to consider. We are going to make a disposal for our dog poop. There are ways that you can compost dog poop safely. However, it is not something that I would recommend doing unless you are very sure of what you're doing, because it takes a really intense high heat to kill any pathogens that are in the dog poop to make it safe to be using on any flower beds or garden beds or anything that your animals might eat. So it's just something that I wouldn't recommend doing unless you're properly trained to do so. This is the method that we chose to do so we don't have the dog poop in the yard, we aren't bringing it into the house, and we aren't putting giant bags of dog poop into the landfill. We deal with all of our trash here, but we did make a trip once a week to our local landfill and would literally have trash bags of dog and cat poop. Cat poop is another video that we will make. I'm going to do a little bit more research and see if it's something that we can put in the dog poop disposal that we're going to talk about in this video. So normally when my kids come out and pick up dog poop, they have a shovel, they have a bucket that has a trash bag in it, a plastic Glad trash bag, and they take the shovel and they pick up the dog poop and put it into the bucket. And that is how that's how we dealt with our dog poop for my whole entire life until just now. So today I decided that we are going to make this little dog poop disposer, and hopefully this will be the solution to our problems. Now, dog poop is very dangerous, especially for young children or with people that are immunocompromised. They do harbor lots of dangerous parasites and bacteria like Salmonella, E. coli, roundworms. It's just yucky stuff. And the eggs of those worms can actually live in and on the soil for a long time. Like a long time. So the dog poop might be gone, whether it rained or whatever, but those eggs from those parasites are very much still there, and they can cause blindness and even death in people that are immunocompromised, and especially children. I mean, look it up. I'm not just talking out of my ass right now. It's very much something to be concerned about. Not only that, but I know that my boys are terrible at doing a good job washing their hands, and so I just don't want the dog poop situation to be a thing. Another thing, I walk barefoot all the time. All the time I am barefoot, and as I'm researching to do this dog poop disposal, I have learned a great deal. Like, I probably will not walk barefoot in our backyard ever again, just because of the amount of dog poop that we produce here. And even when the boys are picking it up, they're not getting every single tiny bit of it, especially if one of the dogs has an upset stomach or something. It's just not possible to get every single bit of the poop. So just keep that in mind. If you're someone like me, I hate wearing shoes, and anytime that it's nice out, I don't wear them, but I will absolutely be mindful and will be wearing shoes in our backyard from this point on. This can be something that can be done very like eco-friendly, something that doesn't have to cost a lot of money. You do need to keep in mind where you are putting your dog waste disposer. Some people are all about like it can be broke down and it's safe around your gardens, and some people put it in their compost, and it's just not something that I would recommend. I very much suggest doing your research, and I'm telling you, you're not going to want it near your gardens or your flower beds. You are going to need a plastic container. Now, if you just have a small dog or even a couple of small dogs, I think you could get by with like a 5-gallon bucket, a sturdy 5-gallon bucket. It needs to have a lid on it. Because we have 8 dogs, we use one of those big trash cans. I don't know if they're 50-gallon. They're those big outside trash cans. We actually use them to hold our animal feed. You are also going to need some sort of rock. For whatever reason, there's a ton of rocks here on our property. Big rocks, little rocks, like rocks all over. I don't know if they maybe did some landscaping or attempted to do some landscaping with these rocks when the people that lived here before were here or what, but that's what we use these rocks for. I'm forever trying to get rid of these rocks, and I just pile them up and I can't stand them. So we use those rocks for this project. So you'll need some rocks, you will need a plastic container with a lid, and that's pretty much it. You can get some like enzyme breakdown stuff, some stuff that you would put into like septic systems, septic tanks, if you were not on like city water, or like those composting toilets, or those like toilets that you use for camping. I don't remember what it's called. We'll probably end up getting some of that, but there are like eco-friendly natural versions of those as well. Maybe they're all natural. I think if it's going into a septic tank, it has to be pretty like chemical free. It's just something to check into. So at the end of this video, if I end up finding one that we will order, because I'm sure we're gonna need one to help break down the amount of poop that we are going to be dealing with. And I'll let you know. I'll just post it right here right now. This is what we're gonna use. I'll just go ahead and order it on Amazon, because I'm assuming we probably don't have it here. We have a very, very small town, and we just don't have access to those things here. Another thing you are going to need is water. Now, you can use water from your hose, but I'm going to try to make this as cheap as possible, because we're dealing with dog poop here. I don't want to spend money on disposing of our dog waste, and that is absolutely something we were doing when we were taking it to the landfill. Before you get started, you want to drill holes into your container. You want to drill them in the bottom, in the sides. We used a bigger, like 1 inch, maybe a 1.5 inch, what, baby? What? This baby goat's right here. I wish you could see her. Your mama is... Oh, she's eating my cigarettes! Mama! Mama. I know, smoking is bad. Smoking is bad, and I understand that. It's something I will work on someday, but let's do the dog poop first, right? Baby, your mama was eating my cigarettes. Mama, that's yucky. That's yucky cigarettes. Anyways, so with your container, you're going to drill holes in it. We use like a 1 inch or a 1.5 inch drill bit to drill into the sides, into the bottom. And then we also, our male goat is over here looking at me. You see him over there in the window. Gizmo, Gizmo, what are you doing? Gizmo, what are you doing? And talk about distraction. Anyways, oh my goodness. Okay, so you're gonna put your holes in your container. Make sure you have, you dig your hole 4 to 6 inches deeper than your container, so that way you have enough room to put a layer of 4 to 6 inches of rock underneath of your container, and then your container is like flush with the surface of the ground. And then you are going to also put rock inside of your container. So what I did, you don't want to put holes all the way up your container. I did it about halfway, maybe not quite halfway with the holes. And so anywhere where there were holes, I filled with rock to the level of the holes. And those rocks are just gonna help things filter and just kind of break down. And yeah, you don't want it to be all like compacted in there and nasty. So we did that, and then we also put some wood chips all around our area, and we also, because there was no, when I dug this hole, there was no worms, there were no bugs, there were no grubs, there were no ants, there was no life in the soil at all. So I don't know I mean, that's very abnormal for our farm. I've never dug anywhere on this farm and not seen something alive. So the soil looked healthy minus any living anything. So that was a little concerning to me because we want those worms and nematodes and things like that to be able to help break down this dog waste. Also, another thing, we put our dog composter on the very far side of our property. It is not near anything that is planted, not gardens, not flowers, not anything. It is also not near where any of the animals will ever be eating, so they won't ever be like any of the grass or anything around it. In fact, at the very end, I covered it completely in wood chips so that way none of the animals are going to be over there trying to forage up any sort of bugs or worms or anything over there. And I thought about, as I was doing it, I'm like, man, I could kind of hide this and plant some flowers here that the ghosts could eat, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to promote the animals to be eating there just because I know what's underneath the soil, and I don't want that to somehow impact the health of my animals. So we don't want any animals to be eating in or around or us this dog waste system that we have. So all around the outside of our container, I ended up putting about 100 worms, give or take, and some worm castings. Then I just got it really wet with the hose, and then I covered this entire area with wood chips. And now I'm going to show you how we put our system to use. So you just put your dog waste in your compost bin, and then you saturate it with water. You can see I've got some wood chips in there as well. I will be using rainwater buckets when those are available, but I didn't have any right now, so I'll use the hose when we don't have rainwater. And then when you're all done spraying and covering that with water and getting it good and like incorporated in there, then just put your lid on it and forget about it. No ugly bags of poop laying around, no trips to the dump with bags of poop. Okay, so that is literally how simple it is. Of course, if you get that enzyme powder, you're gonna put that in there every however often it suggests, or I'm sure you could probably go by eye too, like if it's having a tough time breaking down and you see that it's kind of starting to build up, you definitely wanna use that powder that's in there. We also added wood chips into our container. I just, in my mind, I thought that it would be beneficial to help the breakdown of the waste that we were putting in there. So you don't have to do that. You don't have to do anything that I'm suggesting. And it's just really simple. I watched a lot of videos, read a lot of articles about how to go about doing this. And there are very advanced methods and there are very simple methods. But all of those methods, they make it seem very difficult and almost overwhelming. Do I really want to do this? And it doesn't have to be that way at all. Like PVC pipes and seals and gaskets, and it doesn't have to be crazy like that. It's gonna be real simple. Everything I like to do simply. I like to do it as cheap as possible. Mama, no. Are you hungry? You have hay over there. You have hay. You know you have hay you can eat. You just want your baby? You're being mischievous because you want your baby? You want your baby? He's a good girl. He's a good girl. He's a good girl, Mama. She needs brush, but she will not let me brush her. I don't know why. See all those little tufts of hair? She won't let me brush her. No, she never has had a problem with me brushing her before, but now she doesn't want me to brush her. It's really simple. It doesn't have to cost a lot. You don't have to get crazy with it. And just know that you're doing your part to keep yourselves healthy, to keep your visitors healthy, especially if you have kids and grandkids or any kids coming to your property. And this goes for all of you guys that are out dog walking and your dog poops somewhere. Legit pick it up. If your animal should happen to poop in a yard of someone with a small child or someone that has a compromised immune system, and they step in that and there's parasites or E. coli or salmonella in that feces, like, you could potentially get someone very, very sick or worse. So it absolutely is something that needs to be dealt with. And maybe reconsider the bags that you're using or how you're disposing of your animal poop. It's not fun. Nobody wants to be going this crazy trying to get rid of their dog poop, but it definitely is something to think about when you have the health of our planet and the health of other human beings as your reasoning for doing what you're doing. And also for your other animals. Like, I don't want our other dogs to be, we have 2 blind dogs and they can't see where they're going, and so they just kind of walk and run wherever, and they step in dog poop more than I would like to admit. And then, you know, we're not getting their feet completely clean, I'm sure of it, especially if it's cold and we have to take them inside, and then we're taking the dog poop into our bathtub, and it's just a big, nasty, disgusting mess. So hopefully this will help everyone. If you found this video inspiring or helpful in any way, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!